Oh, hi, I'm gay. No, I'm Ewan. Oh, Freudian slip there. Ooh, imagine slipping on some Freud. Ooh, oh, I got Freud on my shoe. These are new. Hello, welcome to this lump of poo. You are welcome. Hi. Hi, folks. It's been a while. Um, well, about a week, or exactly exactly a week. We 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 um we the oh, you know how sometimes I obviously have like a really good plan, like a funny idea for like an intro, and I'll do it, and it'll be really funny. And then sometimes, clearly, I don't. Hey, buddy, it's Master Shake. Hey, um, I noticed I've only really been able to do that kind of voice more recently in the last few years because I think because I eat shit and I'm not healthy, and so I think it's enabled me to better do this gravelly sort of noise voice, so I can do Master Shake. Um, and Rick, uh, Rick and Morty. That's the voice, the gravelly voice. Um, and I can only really do it because I'm so bloody unhealthy. Wow, that's amazing. Well, it's not. It's not. It's barely interesting, let alone amazing. Um. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Oh, sorry. I forget. Now I'm using this newer phone to switch the thing to mute so I don't get noisy notifications. I don't know if it even affected the last podcast or not, but I figured just in case, just to be safe, better to be safe than gay. Um, no, actually, gay's all right. Let's stop using gay as to mean something bad. Gay's good. Um, allegedly. I don't know. I got no idea what I'm saying. I'm painting a page of gunfire. Wow, that's amazing. It's been so long. I did a poll on my Instagram. A poll, a POLL poll. Um, obviously, I had my plans for that How to Draw Comics book. I am going to do. I was working on. Um, but I want to get Gun Viking done in book form. So I was asking what people would prefer to see first, be it Gun Viking or the How to Draw Comics book, because I wanted to know where I should focus my energy. I'm doing this page just now. I've had the page drawn for ages, so I'm just painting it just so it's done, and I can show it off as, oh, it's a page from the next chapter of God Viking. Get excited! But come the new year, I will properly put effort into whichever people would prefer to see first. Now, the same thing happened that I expected with the poll, which is what happens every time I do any kind of poll like that, which is why I don't tend to do them. Which is it's pretty much 50-50 split both ways. Some people wanted the draw comics book, and some people wanted Gun Viking. Obviously, most people wanted both because they just want me to create content for them to look at all the time. Yeah, it was just Gun Viking just caught it, just had like 2% more votes than the Draw Comics book. So I guess technically Gun Viking won, but not really by a landslide or anything. So it's sort of do whatever I want. I think I am going to do. God, this is boring. I'm boring myself talking about it. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be entertainment, and I'm just fucking boring. So I'm working on the next Gun Viking. That's what I was getting at. Jesus, calm down, everyone. It's all right. I'll get it done. I'm gonna get this page done, just cause, and then start of the new year. I'm gonna finish up all the commissions I'm doing right now, and then take a break from those for a little bit. I should be okay, money-wise, to do that. Then, come the new year, like I say, I will start on Gun Viking proper. Get it fucking done and shit. Yeah, that's exciting, isn't it? I'll get chapter 4 done, and then I'll either crowdfund it or I may just be able to afford to do it myself, as long as I sell enough copies. All 4 chapters, chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, published together in one book. One book, a nice cover. I'm going to do a new font, because the Gun Viking font is not entirely like as legible as it could be. Like if you give it a minute, you go, okay, Gunviking, cool, Gun Viking. But if you just look at that, if that was on a store shelf or something, you'd be like, what is that? So I'm going to do a clearer font, make a nice book, have all chapters in there, a bunch of art, maybe at the start and finish, like, concept art and stuff, interesting things to look at that, you'd put in like a Gun Viking trade paperback. That's what it'll be. It'll be the Gun Viking trade paperback. I'll get a bunch of copies printed, and then I will send them to like I'm gonna send one to like Image Comics, I don't know, like IDW, Titan, Black Horse, the sorts of places that publish like creator-owned comic books and things, to see if I can get it published officially, and then they can take care of distribution, and I can have a nice professionally published book with all my shit in it, my Gun Viking. I'm not convinced it'll happen, but I'll give it a go at least. At least I can say I've tried then. But failing that, I would have printed it myself, and I'd finally have the Gun Viking story told and finished and done in book form, available to read, to look at, to buy, whatever. That's my goal ultimately. If I can sell it and make enough money to keep me going for a little while, cool, but ultimately I want to have the thing done. So that's my aim. I think the next chapter of Gun Viking is going to be a tiny bit longer, which is good. I can get away with that, because before it was 20 pages with a cover in the previous issues, which sort of just about works cost-wise. But then because it's going to be in its own book, I can do more pages and stuff. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but only by like a few pages, maybe 24 pages total or something. And it should be good. Yeah, it'll round off this current tale. I won't give too much away, but I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a couple of fun paintings in there. The story itself will have a nice little, arc or whatever to it. Things will be revealed. There might be some talk of Gun Viking's origin story and whatnot. So you'll find out where he's from, how he became Gun Viking. And maybe a few little treats like that. I'm excited to get it done. I'm excited to get it done. It's been a long time coming. Because the first Gun Viking came out in 2015, I think I did it. So that's almost 6 years ago now. And there was obviously a huge gap between issues 2 and 3. I think a year between issues 3 and 4 is not too bad. So we're getting it done, yeah. And then, every single time I say I'm working on this new project, I say, oh, it should only take me about a month or two. That's all. And then it takes 3 or 4 months at least. So, while I know I physically have it in me to finish the whole of next issue within, say, a month, I'm not going to sort of guarantee that that's what will happen. That's what I'll aim for. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, then fair enough. It wasn't meant to be in that case. But it will get done. So that's cool. That's something to look forward to, isn't it? And once I've done that, I will... The How to Draw Comics book, I'm going to crowdfund. I don't know if I've said that or not already. To try to fund it. Because it will take a bit more effort. Because there's actually writing involved and lots of sort of illustration. And I want the book to look a certain way. With Gun Viking, once I've got it done, I just Photoshop it into book and then it's ready to go. But the How to Draw book, in terms of how the book's put together, I'm going to put some more effort into that. So that will take a bit more work. And like I say, writing and everything. It'll be a good one. I actually wrote... I don't know, it's not worth showing necessarily. But I wrote the first chapter of that book. So that's cool. I've just got to do it now. I did... I want to show things, but I also want to paint. I don't want to stop painting. And that's mostly because I don't want the paint to dry out. Because it's a pain in the arse to mix it all again. I think that will do for that bit. Okay, where? Cool. So I'd shown this already. That's going to be in the book as like tools to use. I'll do some of the drawings to go around that also. This is for the front of the book. Because there's... Oh, God. That drawing in the actual book, which is kind of like meh. Like, it's a good drawing, but it's sort of just like... in terms of representative of artists in general, it's a bit blah. So I did this one to show actual pained, struggling comic book artists. And then, at the end of the book, there's going to be another one of this, but it's going to be slightly more like this, but just like be surrounded by completed pages. His posture will be better. He'll be a bit more on top of what he's doing. So it will go from the start of the book to the end of the book, showing the journey from this to being more successful with your drawing of comic books. That's smart or something, I think. It's good, a nice little, almost a narrative piece for the book as a whole. Yeah, something, I don't know, whatever. Shut up. So I do. I got ideas. Obviously, I'm not short for ideas. I'm fine. Every now and again, there's some kind of struggle of like, oh shit, what do I do? What do I draw? My struggle tends to be, I've got too much to do. I've got too much to draw, and then which is quite a common thing, I guess, is you sort of freeze up because you don't know where to put that energy. Where to focus the energy. There's not too much to do, but so much to do that it's like, what do you prioritize? What do you get done first? What do you work on now? If I had the energy that I had when I was like late teens, early 20s, it wouldn't matter. I'd be getting so much shit done. I could do painting after painting after painting, day after day after day, and it would be fine. But these days, I don't quite have that same energy, which is a shame. It's just a sign of the times. Not a sign of the times, it's just shit changes, you grow, don't you? Things happen. Now it's time for everyone's favourite section of the podcast, in which we look at an art book called Let's Take a Look at a Fucking Art Book. Oh, it's the art of Adventure Time. Grab your friends, let's take an adventure time. I got this because I like Adventure Time, I like art, I like the art of Adventure Time. Also, it was like a tenner or less or something stupid like that. It was on super duper sale, so it seemed silly not to get it, in all honesty. Is it all... my lamp's in the way and the fucking pages aren't going to be visible. Shit. It's a wide one, so I'll show you, what I can of it. Not all of it might not all be of interest. That's a cool one. Dungeons and shit. That's the reason I really liked Adventure Time, was the obvious Dungeons and Dragons influence, it was noted that there is a heavy sort of Dungeons and Dragons influence in the show as a whole. And I do those old dungeon drawings I've shown. Of course, there you go. Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual. The Monster Manuals were always one of my favourite books from Dungeons and Dragons and those sorts of games, for all the cool monster designs and shit. I love that shit. But I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love dungeons as things. They're cool. They're cool in terms of concept. They're cool in terms of potential art and stuff that you can get out of them. So when I saw that sort of stuff in Adventure Time, I was like, damn, cool. Dungeons and shit. I'm into that. Let's fucking go. Let's get some of that. Let's get some of that shit. These are cool. These are really, really cool. Adventure Time ideas in sketchbooks and things. That's really cool to see. Very sort of just about Adventure Time-ish. A little Jake. Oh, that's cool. Storyboards. Very cool. I think largely what this book is. It's, well, not largely. There's a lot of storyboards, but there's a lot of this stuff. This is really cool to see. It's weird stuff, but that's why I like Adventure Time, because it's simplistic and it's fucking weird. But like, it's in terms of design and world building and art, there's a lot to it. There's a lot going on. So some of the designs are like simple and dumb, but it's still like, the ideas are cool. There's a lot there. There's a lot of thinking behind it. Some of it might not be a lot of thinking. It might just be dumb doodles. But whatever. Who gives a shit? Sort of how to draw Finn and how not to draw Finn. Try not to break the framing of Finn's hood with his facial features. There'll be times when it's no other option. But just try to keep your drawings funny and attractive. So not like this, do it like this. That's fine, because that's quite funny, and this is a maybe. But that's something I'd always do if I had a character like Finn, is the mouth and shit would be all over the place. But they have their rules within their world they've built, which is cool. Design things on Jake. That's quite cool. With Finn's clothes, to not have the thing loose around the whole leg, always attached to one side, and then never not attached on the sleeves of his shirt. That's cool. Good bends in the arm, not too wide, not too sudden, no right angles. And I like that, yeah, the elbows can bend almost anywhere. There, wherever. I like that. I like that they do that because it's like, it's a consistent inconsistency. So the elbow can bend wherever you want it to bend, but it has to look a certain way. So you can be crazy with it as long as it looks good and it looks, uniform within the world you do. And that's a lot of what I do with Gun Viking. It's silly, it's dumb. Sometimes he's got guns, sometimes he hasn't. His guns change. The bandages on his arms and shit change and swap positions all the time. Sometimes he has more, sometimes he has less. But as long as it's Gun Viking and he looks like Gun Viking and he fits into the comic as a whole, then it's all good. And it's all bloody good. This is for the main title. It's quite cool. Even early on, within, like the main titles and stuff, all of these like hints towards, what I guess is like a post-apocalyptic world that the land of Oo becomes. All these nuclear bombs and old relics from days gone by, but then also like fantasy elements with jewels and axes and shit. There you go, like that's like Fallout almost exactly, with the highways, the crumbled highways over the wasteland. That's really, really good shit. I love the post-apocalyptic idea of Adventure Time, because at first glance it's just a silly little funny adventure romp, a cartoon, a boy and his dog. But I love that the deeper you go into it, you find out more about it, especially with the Ice King's origin and him and Marceline's relationship and stuff, where they're actually in like a freshly post-apocalyptic world, scavenging and stuff. That's neat. I like that. That's cool. That 3D episode where they're like in a video game or whatever, or like the whole episode's like 3D, they're playing a video game. That's one of my favourite ones, I think, especially in terms of design and stuff. That's really, really cool. Jakes. There's one guy, I've shown a zine of his before. It might still be here somewheres under my big... Yes! This is a zine. A little, like... Does it say how many? 123 creatures. Yeah. It's all weird, little, funny, obscure, bizarre designs of creatures and things. Done by one of the guys who designs monsters and stuff for Adventure Time. So when I saw this in a store, I picked it up right away, because I really love... Like, it's hard to design stuff that bizarre, because if you're designing like a weird creature, your first thought is to like make it like a bird but looks like this, or a bear but looks like this. Whereas his designs are just batshit bananas, like so more alien than anything I'd come up with. All of this, it's just so weird. I love it. And that's hard to do. Like, it's hard to do it well anyway. Like, you can just doodle some shit and have weird shapes and things. But to do it well really does take something. I don't love all of them, but on the whole, they're really, really cool. Some of them are more animal looking than others. Some of them just weird. I love see-through jelly stuff. That's really, really cool. There's a few of those. Yeah, man, that's some really cool shit. So there is some of that in here. Of his like weird monster designs and stuff. So I won't rush through, but I will try to get to that. Oh, the cosmic owl. That's cool. That was a fun episode. I like that one. The pillow fort episode. So all these designs, they're really simple, but like, if you're coming up with characters that are like townsfolk or whatever in this certain place, it's really, really good. Even that, no, that's silly. It's good though. It's good silly. That's good. All good. I think that's one of his designs, the little snail. Love these designs, man. There you go. I don't know if it says it is his name. They look like his drawings. I don't know if they are the same guy I just showed you. Really cool designs. That's fucking cool. It would be cool to take some of this stuff and then do it in a more like graphic comic book way. Like take that design. It's probably been done a million times similar, like a weird kind of super angel type character. But, you know, it's quite cool. The nut creatures. Those are fucking funny and cool. Like that. I love little shacks like that. That's cool. I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of the early episodes where they're in a dungeon and there's that weird like cat creature. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Some good shit, man. Good shit. Oh, we love it. We love it. We love it. I think it is a really good example of coming up with ideas for stuff that are just weird. Because, like Gun Viking and the Marauders in Gun Viking, I think the most original thing I have in Gun Viking is the weird cattle, the steeds. I had the idea for them for a long time, but it's not even. It's just a weird thing with a flat face and horns, and I don't know. But everything else is just like gimps. Gun Viking's basically a big gimp. It's really hard to come up with actual like concepts. That's where I struggle with. You know, I'd love to be a concept artist, but when it comes to coming up with raw, new concepts, new ideas, fresh ideas for things, it's really difficult to not base them on loads of other stuff you've seen that's already out there, to actually have new ideas for stuff. These are all cool. And I think that's one of the things I really like about Adventure Time is it is, you know, it's got its nods and winks to other things that exist, but on the whole it's really original in terms of concept and design and such. That's really cool. I like that. And it's got dungeons and swords and weird monsters and things, and that's what I like. Fiona and Cake, that's kind of okay. I kind of like some of that stuff, kind of don't. That's cool. Simple, but really cool. That's a really neat page. Very cool. Ooh, lumpy space. That's really cool. Like I do with all cool books, I look through, oh, that's cool, and that's cool, and that is actually cool, the treehouse. I know some people really like drawing buildings. I don't like drawing buildings unless they're cool, interesting buildings, like one-off, funny little cabins and things. But when it comes to just drawing, like, you know, architecture that currently exists, that sort of thing, I really have no interest in that shit. It's kind of dull. The ink monsters. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, the rest of it will just be me saying that's cool and that's cool and that's cool. But this is a book I have and it's good, and, you know, some of the designs are good. It's good to, you know, my artwork isn't like this, but it's good to take inspiration from different places, isn't it? Does it matter? Do I have... Oh, a glitch is a glitch. That's the episode I was talking about. The 3D episode. It's really, really cool. Oh, just the 2 pages of that one. Great. Oh. Ooh. Neato. That's pretty funny. Anyway, that was that. Let's do another. So, Gun Viking. What's going on here? He's been captured, clearly, and that's that Freya bitch. She's also been captured by these goons, these marauders from the previous issue 3. So issue 2, he met Freya. She babbled on. This is my exposition page. Just get all the talking shit out of the way with these funny little faces, because it really doesn't matter what they look like. They're just saying a bunch of shit. Then she explains she knows where Gun Vikings come from to a degree. And where he's headed, because they're looking for the same guy. So she says, let's fucking go. So they fucking go. And they come across these marauders, oh no. And they fling a big fucking rock at them. That's ever so slightly phallic, but that wasn't the intention. It just happened that way. And then a big cum shot of snow as it puffs into the snow next to them. And they're like, oh shit. And then fights them all. And, you know, goes into his berserker rage, eats them up, whatever, bites this one's head off. That's funny. And they go off into the sunset. So from here, it's because it was we're making good time from here. It's 6 days away. 3 days later, they see the marauders. Then Gun Viking fucks up the marauders. Then she's like, so it's 3 days. And he's like, we'll make it in 2. You fucking whore. And then they ride off into the sunset. Then, somewhere along the way, these marauders have apparently captured them. What the F? What the F? And Gun Viking's all like, he's caught, you know, what the fuck's happening? He looks up, he sees this teeth. What the fuck's going on? Oh my God. I won't give any spoilers. But what I will do is talk about... I have an idea for a separate book that I want to do. My ultimate goal would be get Gun Viking officially, like, properly, professionally published. That's too dark. Shit. Bear with me while I things. My goal would be get Gun Viking professionally published. And then, once the Gun Viking book has come out with, you know, all 4 chapters, art and whatever, then say, okay, I've got another Gun Viking book in the works that I can do. This would be a sort of a separate tale. Like, you know how, I guess Hellboy is the easiest way to describe it, how Hellboy has a few, like Hellboy in Hell, for instance, and then aside from the main stories, there's a bunch of comics of Hellboy just having random adventures, just short little stories of Hellboy being Hellboy, doing Hellboy things. I've got an idea for a book like that of Gun Viking. And obviously, there's pretty obviously sort of similarities in terms of design and thought processes between Gun Viking and Hellboy. So, that kind of goes without saying. But here's one of them. I'll try not. There may be spoilers here, so if you're not into that, then maybe the rest of this episode isn't for you. But it might be interesting to listen to anyway. So, as a separate story, that would happen in between probably the first issue of Gun Viking and the second, or maybe the second and third, somewhere in between the story, or before all of it. Part of Gun Viking's origin is he came across like a fallen astronaut type person in the forest while he was running away from someone as a child. He came across some kind of like fallen astronaut hanging in a tree. Below that astronaut, or like I say astronaut just for lack of a better term for what to call them, like some sort of like sci-fi looking traveller or something. There was a bright flash, he ran towards it, he saw this thing, this person being hanging in a tree, dead evidently. Beneath them was a gun. He picked the gun up, there was some sort of flash and lights. He used the gun, not knowing how to use the gun, but somehow the gun got used by Gun Viking, or by the child who became Gun Viking. And through various means of interdimensional portal energy, radioactivity, Gun Viking ended up becoming Gun Viking. That's basically the Gun Viking origin story. But then this next tale, I guess it could actually happen after. It could happen after the whole story from chapter 4. But Gun Viking goes looking for that tree because he doesn't know exactly what happened, but he's looking for answers. So his main course of action is to hunt down the guy who is responsible for some bad shit that happened to him and or his family. Then, either while he's looking for that or after or whatever, he goes back to find the tree where everything came from, the tree, the source of his power. Somehow, through some, again, means of Deus Ex Machina, portals, interdimensional radioactive space power, he gets transported to where the astronaut, the traveller, came from. So he goes into another time, another dimension, into like this future sci-fi place, which is the source of his power. Now, my idea for the book of that, the book would be that as a whole, with maybe like a couple of chapters of this as the story, and then a bunch of like maybe short stories of Gun Viking. But anyway, so he travels through some kind of interdimensional portal to this other place where he ends up, and what the plan is to draw it all black and white, inked, apart from Gun Viking would be painted. And Gun Viking will be painted pretty fucking wild, because the plan is that he gets transported to like, if you've seen, is it Stargate? Where they have a big gate and they go through and it's like, something like that, where, yeah, he goes through the portal, appears in this like lab, like a science lab, where it's all like white walls and lab coats and stuff, full of scientists and things. And then Gun Viking shows up out of nowhere. Like the portal goes off, all these scientists are milling about, and then suddenly, yeah, the portal like is activated. Gun Viking bursts through and fucking fucks shit up. My idea for showing that is to actually, I'll work on the design, is to draw Gun Viking almost as a creature, like a giant, like mutant human bear hybrid thing. Not that that's what he will be, but that's how he'll appear to the scientists. This crazy, giant, muscled, hairy, monstrous man is going to burst through this portal. So they'll see him as like this bear creature or something. So that's how I'm going to show him in that particular story, in that particular aspect of the story. And as I say, so it'll all be black and white ink. Apart from Gun Viking will be painted as he normally is. So there'll be a real shift in tone to really look like he's in a separate dimension to what he's used to. I might paint the blood red just because he'll be like fucking tearing people open and shooting them and stuff. So there's going to be blood, obviously. But yeah, I've had that idea for quite a while. For like, I'm not sure where to go with it past Gun Viking in this alternate dimension fucking shit up. Maybe someone at some point manages to maybe calm him down or like communicate with him in some way, and then he'll, revert back to appearing human again, and they'll be able to explain, what happened, why he's there, where he came from, and all the rest of it. I haven't come up with all of that, but it will be these scientists made a Stargate, quote unquote. They opened up a portal, they sent someone through, that person died during travel, landed in a tree, and then Gun Viking found them accidentally, took a piece of their equipment, and that equipment and the radioactive energy and whatever allowed Gun Viking to become Gun Viking. It affected him and his powers, or gave him powers and strength and shit. And then I'll have a scene where, I don't know, either he makes peace with it or he just tears everyone up, or he destroys. Oh, that could be cool. A scene where he like tears apart the gate to be like, you can't have this has destroyed everything, it's ruined my life. I don't know. Or maybe he'll join up with the scientists and become some sort of interdimensional. Oh shit! Okay, I'm coming up with these ideas right here as I say them. Maybe that story could end with them sending. Either they tried to send him back to his own time and space, but something goes wrong and he ends up in some random unknown dimension, or he joins up with them and they send him on purpose to some random dimension. Maybe there's one person who can help him get back to where he needs to be, who can set everything back to normal, who can give him a normal life, but that person is lost in another dimension. So so they send him to that dimension to find that person. Oh, that's quite cool. I might use that. Like I say, just coming up with these ideas right now. Which, some of it's a bit, needs some work, but on the whole, not a bad idea. So that's ultimately my plan, is Gun Viking after, the first book, after I get the How to Draw Comics book done, when I have time to work on it. Gun Viking in an ultimate dimension, finding out, where his powers came from, why he is the way he is. A beast like a bear Gun Viking hybrid, coming through this portal, bursting into this science lab. I've got very much like Aperture Science from Portal in mind for that, but that's just what's in my head. I played Portal 2 the other day again, so And then fucking shit up, being Gun Viking, going crazy. A few pages of him tearing things and people apart. And then maybe they're able to like subdue him with some sort of, I don't know, laser net device or something. And he wakes up and they're like able to speak to him. Maybe they have some sort of like interdimensional communication, like a Babel fish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they can communicate and make him understand where he is, what they've been doing, why he is now the way he is. And maybe with that communication, he overhears some people talking about, wanting to cut him up and, experiment on him to find out how this happened, because he's such, a peculiar, incredible specimen of their work. And he hears that, and then he's like, nope, and he fucks shit up again. And then I get to draw Gun Viking fucking shit up again. And also, that would be fun to draw because it will give me more practice with black and white inking. And also, because I won't have to paint entire pages, it'll be a lot easier to get a story finished because I'm only painting one character. Like the first bit of the story where he finds the tree and, before he teleports, that will all be painted, obviously. But once he's in the lab, it's all black and white ink apart from Gun Viking himself. So that'll be much easier for me to draw, which will be good. We like that. Yeah, so that some of that might be spoilers. If I have spoiled anything, I don't think I've spoiled anything serious, other than a little of Gun Viking's, origin story or whatever. But that'll all come up in the next issue with more detail. You'll find out more about it then, so have no fear. And that's probably where I'll leave it, because I'll carry on with this page, try to get it done, just so it's done, and then it'll be done. And then I'll have a whole the first, not necessarily the first page, but the first of many pages that need to be done, and then it's done.